Welcome to Teaching Truth. At its narrowest point, the English Channel, the barrier of water separating England from France, is no more than 21 miles wide. And yet for the best part of 200 years, engineers felt that the answer to all its problems would be to dig a tunnel under it. And as we know, the Channel Tunnel today, opened in 1994, links both countries. At its narrowest point, the Red Sea, the barrier of water separating the coasts of modern-day Egypt, Sudan and Eritrea to the west from those of Saudi Arabia and Yemen to the east, is no more than 12 miles wide at its northern point. And this is around the area where it is believed that Moses and the Israelites crossed the Red Sea. And at the time Moses and the Israelites arrived at the edge of the Red Sea, their backs to the wall, having been hounded and chased by the Egyptians, some of them may well have had felt that the answer to all their problems of getting across this natural barrier would be to somehow tunnel under it. Moses and the barrier of the Red Sea. That's the theme for our reflections this week as we journey with Moses from the cradle to the grave to this significant event in his life as he led the Israelite people across the Red Sea, and a significant event also for the Israelite nation. Moses and the barrier. If you have your Bible, let's sketch in the picture as we turn to Exodus chapter 13, reading from verses 17 to 22. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was shorter. For God said if they face war, they might change their mind and return to Egypt. So God led the people around by the desert road towards the Red Sea. The Israelites went up out of Egypt armed for battle. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him because Joseph had made the sons of Israel swear an oath. He had said, God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up with you from this place. After leaving Succoth, they camped at Etham on the edge of the desert. By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel by day or night. Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place in front of the people. In our reflections today, as we think about Moses and the Israelites coming up to and anticipating this natural barrier, the barrier of how to cross the Red Sea, we want to first of all think about the detour which they had to take. You see, on a map, a straight line from where they were in Egypt to Canaan would have been about 150 miles in a northeasterly direction, and would have taken just under 2 weeks. But God takes them in a completely different direction. God takes them in a southeasterly direction. God takes them, as it were, on the scenic route, the long way round via the desert. Now, why was that? Well, that was principally because if he had led them in a straight line as the crow flies, as it were, towards Canaan, they would have passed right through the epicenter of the land of the Philistines. The Philistines were brutal warriors, bloodthirsty fighters. And quite simply, the Israelites were not ready for that, because the Israelites were and had been slaves. They weren't seasoned warriors. They were not people who were battle hardened. And so God took them on a detour. God didn't take them in a straight line, but God took them on a detour. The pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire changed direction. And for many, if not all of them, as they were following that pillar of cloud and that pillar of fire, could well have had gone in the wrong direction in their mind. Why are we going this way? We should be heading in this direction, not that direction. We've gone off track here. God has got it wrong. Moses, what's happening? And that's true for all of us. We often, in our lives, as followers of Jesus, we have a goal, a destination in our mind, some place we want to go, something we want to become or to achieve. But we can't understand why it's taking so long and why God often takes us in a completely different direction, why God takes us on a detour. But the reality is that being a follower of Jesus does not insulate us nor isolate us from the problems and challenges along the way. God's detours are not discouragements. God was taking the Israelite people on a detour through the desert so that they would avoid the Philistines, so that God could teach them that his detour was actually part of his greater plan and purpose. And so the takeaway encouragement for you today is this: that God's detours are not discouragements. Don't be discouraged if God takes you or has you on a detour route. God knows where he is going, and God knows what he's doing. God's detours are not discouragements.